Welcome to Your Region This Week. I'm Anandi Carroll Woolery. In this episode, we visit a farm on the outskirts of KW and learn about community shared agriculture. And we also visit Kidsability to see the newly fully inclusive playground. But first, here's a look at the headlines. A COVID-19 outbreak has been declared in the medicine unit at Stratford General Hospital. The unit is closed to admission until further notice, according to its website. The Huron-Perth Healthcare Alliance is working with Huron-Perth Public Health to manage the outbreak. The region of Waterloo is looking at a tax increase of 10 to 12% in 2025 if it doesn't cut close to $8 million in costs between now and the end of the year, which means cuts to services. The public has a chance to give input on November 6th. Meanwhile, Waterloo Regional Police Service is looking at a 9% tax increase. A draft of the 2025 budget was released. A number of things have led to the increased cost, including technology investments and salaries. The police board will present its revised proposal to Regional Council on November 20th. A familiar face is returning to the city of Brantford. Michael Bradley is returning as Chief Administrative Officer. He brings over 2 decades of experience in municipal administration to the role. Michael will succeed Brian Hutchings, who recently announced his retirement effective January 3rd, 2025. The City of Kitchener has approved its new integrated sanitary master plan. The strategy will see upgrading, expanding, and maintaining the 834 kilometers of sanitary infrastructure to meet Kitchener's growing needs. City officials are asking residents to make sure they are not flushing household materials like disinfectant wipes and paper towels in the toilet and not dumping fats, oil, and grease down the drains and sinks. The food donation numbers are up this year in the Uncle Hans Food Drive. Non-perishable food and monetary donations were collected during the Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade and at other events over the past few weeks. In total, the campaign collected 7,854 pounds of food and just over $11,000 in donations. Ontario is rich in farmland and it requires the aid of seasonal workers. International laborers play integral roles in bringing crops from the fields to the marketplace.
These people see opportunity in this job and they come in on a seasonal basis. The average worker comes in for 24 weeks in Ontario. Some stay for 8 months, some stay a lot shorter than that. They have to stay at least 6 or 8 weeks. But there's not a lot of that anymore. But there still is a bit for some of the harvest of some of the fruit crops. But most of it's a 24-week deal. You know, like we wouldn't have a fruit and vegetable industry in Ontario to any extent if we didn't have these workers. There's no question about it. First of all, we don't have the population. Second of all, there's other jobs out there that people would rather do. And for you or I to work for 6 months of the year, it's a dream come true, but it doesn't work because you can't pay for education and cars and houses and all that kind of stuff. You got to work. And so this works for them because they go back home and they enhance what they do back home. Like they build better houses. Some of them own small farms. They buy a little more land. But the most thing that these guys do is they educate their children. Thousands of these workers have kids with university degrees. There was a worker a few years ago who got an award from Jamaica for being on the program for 46 years. And 2 of his children, one of them was a practicing medical doctor and the other one was a lawyer. It was all paid for by the fact that they were able to come here and make significant money compared to at home. And then they retire and they get a Canada pension plan just like everybody else does. And so it's a really nice program that actually does work. You know, most of the people that I represent, the farmers, they're good folks who value these people being there. They value them so much that a lot of them think of them as family.
Coming up, from the field to your fork in under 20 minutes.
This is not something that most cities in Ontario, in Canada, have access to. It's so special. We have an opportunity here in Waterloo Region to be a bridge between urban and rural communities. And I think that Waterloo has such a special opportunity to help us understand each other's perspectives.
Have you ever thought about just how much politics you speak about just in your own kitchen or in your living room? Or how many important ideas are shared or solutions to some of the world's biggest problems? Well, you're in luck, because I'm inviting some of my friends to come and speak to me about everyday politics, and I'm bringing my living room to you. So join me on Wednesday evenings from 6 until 7 for Everyday Politics with Laura May Lindo.
Smudging is a very important part in our life as we're all learning to walk the good way. When we smudge, we use the sacred medicine, the white sage, the sweetgrass, the tobacco, and the cedar. It cleanses negative energy and replaces it by a positive energy. When I smudge, I cleanse my end and my eagle feather and start cleansing my breath to have better words. I will smudge my eyes so I could see the better things offered to me. I will smudge my ears to hear the good thing that people have to say. I will smudge my hair to have good thinking from my head. I will bring the smudge to my feet so I could walk in respect with our Mother, the Earth. Smudging is the way we give our prayers to connect our spirit to the Creator. We express gratitude for the gift of life, the learning, and growth.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Fall harvest season is upon us. We take a look at the importance of our local farming community.
We are at Fertile Ground Farm. We're a diversified vegetable operation in St. Agatha, just about 20 minutes west of Waterloo. And we grow about 30 different types of vegetables. We sell primarily through the Community Shared Agriculture Model, CSA. So households become members of our farm for the season, and then we give them a variety of vegetables each week based on what is fresh and delicious week by week through the season. We started the CSA here in 2008 with just 20 members. It was very small, and we're up to about 350 households at this point that get their vegetables from us. And that runs from, we have a main season that runs about 19 weeks through kind of what you think of as peak vegetable season, June through about now. But then we do fall shares with storage crops. We do spring shares with greens. We have storage crops through the winter months so we can feed people almost year round. Being a farm that is direct to consumer or direct to eater, I think there's a certain satisfaction in just being able to literally hand the food to the people who are going to eat it and see their excitement or hear their questions. You know, we grow some things that aren't necessarily on people's radar until they start buying food from us. We grow kohlrabi, we grow tatsoi, we grow daikon radish, we grow a whole host of vegetables beyond carrots and potatoes and lettuce and onions. The reason we grow such a diversity of vegetables is essentially twofold. One is that if we are going to be feeding people for an entire, as much of the year as we can, we have to find vegetables that thrive in some of the shoulder seasons. So we find some greens that will grow really well in the early spring or late fall, when lettuces are just too tender and they succumb to the frost and the cold. So we find some hardier greens. So there's lots of crops that we grow that sort of fill some pockets in the season that otherwise people would have to be eating imports. So that's one of the reasons. And the other is that different vegetables do well each year. And so if we only grew 2 or 3 different crops and we had a crop failure, what would we do? We would lose money that year. How would I pay my staff? having the diversified production means that there's always something doing well. And so it makes our business a lot more economically viable, and it ensures that people will have an interesting diet to eat from week to week. What I want people to know is how important this farmland is. Waterloo Region is so special in that we have farmland that butts right up against our residential areas. We can produce food that can be on someone's table in literally half an hour. This is not something that most cities in Ontario, in Canada, have access to. It's so special. We have an opportunity here in Waterloo Region to be a bridge between urban and rural communities. There's an ever-growing divide in Canada and North America between these communities, and I think that Waterloo has such a special opportunity to help us understand each other's perspectives. When we think about farming, often what we picture are big tractors and big row crops. We picture corn, we picture soy, we picture wheat. And it's true that a lot of those crops are bases to our diet, or they're the feed for animals that are a basis to our diet. And those crops need to be grown at a certain scale in order to be profitable. But there is so much that we can produce on small land bases. And find ways to support small-scale farmers. They're the ones who are hiring local people. They're the ones who are paying fair wages. We pay a living wage here. There's not many farms that are able to do that. Find ways to support that because it's the only way it will continue to exist.
An upcoming event that's guaranteed to have you laughing while raising money for those waiting for critical services.
We're super excited about it. This is the second year that we're doing it with them. Last year was amazing. So this year, we are bringing in two of the best comedians in Canada, Martha Chavez, who's been a national headliner for 30 years. And then Rob Bebnick is also a headliner. He's actually from Kitchener. Going to be an amazing event. It's really the level of talent that is coming for this show is really the best in Canada. And you're helping an amazing organization, community, helping a small business like Rusty Nail Comedy. So just check. Win, win, win.
Parents for Community Living was founded by a visionary group of family members that wanted more for their sons and daughters who had developmental disabilities. And so a vision was born and a dream was born, and they opened their first home back in 1989. And we've not looked back.
Kyle is caring, loving, just full of energy. He's always wanted a place of his own.
I like my apartment. It's really cool. Living here makes me feel accomplished. It's something that I wanted for a long time, and I've worked really hard to get to this point.
The 10 individuals that we're supporting in this location, they've never had a home of their own, a place they can say, this is mine, and this is where I get to make choices.
I practiced my cooking a lot before I came here. Cooking is one of my favorite things. I really like cooking a lot.
They're learning that they can do things that they never thought that they could. And that's the most reinforcing, powerful experience that our staff are really seeing.
It's about teaching them the skills, not doing things for them, but doing things with them to maintain their independence in their own apartments and in the community as well.
At first I was really nervous about the bus. I've never really used the bus before. After a few times I'm like, wow, this is easy. And at least I have staff supporting me with the bus, so that's good too. And another thing that I've learned is how to make grocery lists. I didn't have to do that when I lived at the group home because the staff did the grocery shopping. So now I'm making my own grocery list all by myself.
He has the best of both worlds. He has his own place, but he still has help if he needs it. And he still needs it sometimes.
It's really nice to know that if I need help, they're there.
Our team is awesome. We have an amazing senior leadership team that helps to drive this organization forward, long-term employees that we've had working with us for many, many years. And the frontline staff, they do a phenomenal job.
Kyle could not be where he is today without the help of PCL and all the other communities that have been involved with us. It just makes me happy knowing that I can't give my son everything, but there's other people that can help me make his life complete.
Despite how many organizations are here locally supporting people with disabilities, the need is huge. There's a wait list of hundreds of individuals, not just locally in the Waterloo region, but provincially, looking for services. We want the community to understand that people we support belong in our community and are equally wanting to participate in their community in the ways that we all do, by volunteering, by working, by living, by developing natural relationships.
We're a community, and we've raised him together to be the amazing young man he is today, caring, loving, helpful to his neighbors. Like, he's just amazing.
Come on out to the event. Come on out to the comedy night. We're so excited about it, and you'll learn more about our organization. You'll hear some great comedians and have a laugh, and we all need that, especially post-pandemic. We all need to have fun and have a laugh, and the people we support are just joyful as well, and we're really looking forward to that night.
Stay connected with City News Kitchener. You will find what's making headlines here at home and around the world. Looking for traffic and weather information, plus the latest prices at the pumps? Click on the tabs to find out. Watch, listen, stay connected with City News Kitchener.
Guelph, the Royal City. Learn about the people, places, organizations, and events that make up your hometown. Join us each and every episode to learn more about Guelph and what's happening in the Royal City.
Hey, Chef D here. Join me Saturdays at 4:30 for At Home with Chef D, season number 10. Thanks so much for that. Hey, we're gonna go back old school. We're gonna join Julia Child and Graham Kerr and some of their great recipes and share some of their passion with you. At Home with Chef D, Saturdays at 4:30. Won't you join me?
Cooking with Chef D.
Hey guys, Steph here from The Cruise TV, the show where we talk about the people and stories behind the coolest cars on the road. Join us on Sundays at 8 p.m.
Unbelievable. You just never see that. What a shot. Scores! The OHL on Rogers TV.
Are you low on food? Struggling to pay the bills? Overwhelmed by life's challenges? When you need support but don't know where to turn, just dial 211. 211 connects you to the programs or services near you.
211, how can I help you?
211, help starts here.
In sports, Darren Stevenson has highlights from the game between Junior Rangers and Wolves at Rim Park in Waterloo.
Monday night hockey from Rim Park in Waterloo. The U16 Wolves on home ice for a matchup with the Kitchener Junior Rangers. This was the first meeting of the season between the Twin City rivals. Opening period, the Wolves with the first good scoring chance. Wyatt Marks to Ethan McPhee. Kobe Nadalin is there for the stop. The game remains scoreless. A few minutes later, it's a good rush from Jaden Charlish. He sets up Logan Young. Big stop from Liam Cheeseman. He denies Young, still no score. Later in the first, Zach Forwell picks it up behind the net. He feeds Chris Maybe, who rips it and scores. The Wolves striking first midway through the period. Maybe makes it 1-0. Second period now, the Rangers looking to tie it up. This is Fisher Gardner to Joshua Lawrence, and he scores. Nice feed and a good finish from Lawrence. We are knotted at 1. Then we've got a big hit. Watch number 9 for Waterloo. That's Cody Billings with a solid check for the Wolves. He knocks down Josh Lawrence. Later in the second, Kitchener takes the lead on this play. Lucas Parabek is making moves. He finds space, and it's a great goal from Lucas Parabek. He makes it 2-1 for the Junior Rangers, but the lead was short-lived because a few minutes later the Wolves answer. Michael Pope dances in and he scores a beauty. What a goal from the Victus product. We are tied once again. It's 2-2 after 2. Third period now. Here is Parker Smith breaking in. He drops it for Michael Pope. Good stop from Kobe Nadalin. And he hangs on for a whistle. Still 2-2. More Wolves pressure. The rebound goes to Liam Strauss on the far side. His shot hits a stick in front and Strauss scores. He gives Waterloo their first lead of the night. It's 3-2 Wolves. And with just over a minute to go, this goal seals it. Parker Smith scores into the empty net. The Wolves stay perfect on home ice as they pick up the victory. 4-2 is the final. Here's Liam Strauss, who scored the game winner in the third period.
There was a lot of traffic in front there. It kind of bounced out to me in the slot. I kind of just put her in. 2-on-2, Park Smith gave me the puck, kind of came off the wall and kind of like a backhand Toby and took it to the house, as Straussy said, and tucked it far side. Oh, that was an unreal goal. He kind of 2-on-2, just took it to the house. It was unreal.
For more local sports stories, check out 519 Sports Online. Darren Stevenson and his team work to bring our community stories about local athletes. Visit 519sportsonline.ca.
And the people at the daycare that run it said they have no problem with that CTS. And it's been operating for years, since 2019.
Yeah.
It's saved over 1,000 lives. This is a massive record. And now people, I'm sure Michael and Sarah talked to you about the deaths that are going to occur with the loss of this location. Yeah.
What data do you think the government is using when they're making, why are they making this decision?
This is a total election. It is. There is no data.
Yeah.
There is no data. To say automatically within 200 meters of a school or a daycare, you got to close. We have a government that operates by populism. Populist politics.
Still ahead, a playground for everyone.
I think this playground is just helping kids to be kids.
Hey, we're Chris and Kim.
We are the hosts of What's Buzzin' Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on Rogers TV.
We're gonna chat about what's trending, interview some awesome guests, and just get to hang out with you. We're in your living room, having a blast on a Wednesday, and Cameron might bully me a little bit too.
Slightly.
That could happen too, because that's what we do.
Just because I'm here.
Yeah, and that's Wednesday nights on Rogers TV. Let's do this.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
I'm sure right now a lot of you feel like you aren't able to be who you truly are.
What's most important, more important than everybody else knowing who you are, is that you know who you are.
As a young person, time moves slower for you. And just know that things will get better.
It Gets Better Canada is a registered Canadian charity with a focus on uplifting our queer youth through the power of digital storytelling.
As a Two-Spirit person, I use they, them pronouns, but that's not the case for every Two-Spirit person.
There are so many voices out there that we didn't have 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
No matter what your mind tells you, you really are perfect the way you are, so stop beating yourself up so much.
I'm gonna be a boy in a dress, because why not?
Your identity is explosive.
We all have our unique journeys, but one thing that connects us all is the desire to be happy, the desire to celebrate being our authentic selves.
And finally for us, a playground that gives every child a chance to be a kid.
So I was part of the design process for this playground from the beginning, and it has a really special place in my heart because I have relationships with so many children who are not able to access, typical community playgrounds, find that there are so many spaces that aren't inclusive. So for me, that inclusion was really a driving force behind every decision that I helped make for the playground. And really what we wanted to create was a space where everyone belongs and where everyone feels like this space was built for them. Well, I think it's actually interesting because some people come to the playground and they say, oh, well, it doesn't really look any different. And I guess maybe that's a good thing, but I think that also tells us that people that don't experience that exclusion from community spaces maybe don't realize what it's like for someone who, can only access a certain part of a playground, or who, just feel like that space is too overwhelming. So we really looked at it from a standpoint of physical accessibility, and we made sure that, on our climbing structure, there is no destination on that structure that is not accessible by everyone. We did include things like some stairs and some, climbing bars to get to a certain point, but anywhere that you can get by stairs, you'd also be able to get by ramp. So, you go to some playgrounds and there's a ramp that leads to one part of the structure, and then there's stairs and you can't get to the rest of it. So, our playground is fully accessible, and if there's a spot on that playground, such as our monkey bars, that might not be accessible by everyone, we included a side-by-side component so that there's higher monkey bars, but then there's lower monkey bars that maybe someone who is in a wheelchair could reach up to maneuver through. And then beside the monkey bars, we have a line drawn so that there's that side-by-side play component, and someone using their walker could be beside their friend as they use the monkey bars.
There was a lot of incredible community support to build our inclusive and accessible playground. We had over 40 donors that donated. We had individuals, Rotary clubs, local businesses, organizations. City of Waterloo made a donation. So it took a community to come together to build our playground. And from start to finish, from the time that the committee came together, it was about 18 months. And we're just so grateful that our community believes, as we do, that this type of playground is needed, and it's really going to make such a difference for kids and families. It's a meeting place. It's a place where kids and families can meet other kids, and our kids are not on the sidelines. They're using all the equipment. They're on the wheelchair accessible swing. They are taking part, and there's so much joy to see the kids on our playground enjoying it, and families meeting other families. It's been a wonderful, wonderful initiative. I think interest is growing for more and more accessible spaces and inclusive spaces, and we're seeing that across the region, and we're proud to be part of that, and I think it will just continue to grow and build. We are building purposeful space to accommodate everybody, kids of all abilities, and it's just making such a big difference in building our community. I think this playground is just helping kids to be kids.
That's our show for this edition of Your Region This Week. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Kitchener's perfect music mix is on Chime 96.7. So every song is someone's favorite song. On Chime 96.7. Drop it!
In parahockey, the ice tilts in favor of men. But that will never stop us.
United by passion, battling for equity. We are the National Women's Parahockey